Hey y'all, we are back for episode 3. I am with Queen D, and when I tell you this is the most anticipated episode thus far, you're going to want to watch it from the beginning to the end. But before we get into any of that, I want to ask you, Miss D, is there anything that you would like to get off your chest before we get into the nitty gritty?
Yes. Before we get started, I wanted to address a rumor mill that has been surfacing over the years that I have been on drugs really bad. Excuse me. Now, a person that has been on drugs really bad, some of them have no teeth. Some of them are skinny. And some of them have nothing going on at all. So for you, whoever you are, in which you know who you are, and I know a couple of you all who have said it, because before I got on Facebook, a couple of people that I know actually told me that they had heard that I was on drugs real bad. And I'm like, what? And when they told me, this came from a couple of different people, told me who told them that, I was like, she said what? And of course you heard I said she, because those are my most number one haters, like females. It's been times, where people didn't even know me, but then they judged me because of the way that I look. Now, I can't help the way that I look, okay? You gotta talk to my mother and father about that, and God, of course. So I just wanted to get that off my chest about the rumor mill, about being on drugs really bad. Yeah, so let's just get down to what you guys came to see. So let's get started. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
That part, and not too much on them fans, because that's what they is, fans. All right, so first question, how did you meet your first money-making boyfriend? And if you know, you know when I say money-making boyfriend.
Yeah, okay, well, it's been a couple of them. So let's start with the first one. I met this guy. He was actually from Detroit. I met him at the Fountain Blue on Farrell Road.
Okay, and how old were you at the time?
I was around 20 years old, I want to say.
Okay, so at the Fountain Blue, y'all were partying, of course.
Yeah.
So what originally attracted you to him?
Okay, what attracted me to him was he had on this real big dookie rope chain. And a lot of people don't know what dookie rope chains are. Those are those big old chains that the drug dealers and the rappers wore. Mainly New York started that dookie rope thing with those big old chains. So I was attracted to that look that was about him.
Those are the same chains like how Run DMC?
Yeah, those same type of chains.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
All right. So who approached who first?
I actually, towards the end of the club, I actually, I had my eye on him the whole night because I was trying to figure out, how I was going to like get to him, because see, I'm very aggressive. I've always been an aggressive person. So I actually waited until the club was over with, and we went outside into the parking lot, and from there I actually asked him, was his name Charlie? That's my pickup line. Whenever I want to meet somebody, I'll just ask them, is their name Charlie? And so he was like, no, his name wasn't Charlie. But from that moment on, it struck up a romance.
Okay, and when y'all were in the club, were y'all making eye contact? Did he notice you was scoping him out?
Yeah, he knew it.
Okay.
He knew it because I was trying to brush up on him.
All right.
But I had to make sure he didn't have no girlfriend. But it was a bunch of females around him, but I didn't care about that because, I know me and I know them. That's the mindset I had back in the day. Yeah, so.
Okay, so when y'all were outside in the parking lot, I know y'all didn't have cell phones back then.
No, we did
Was
not.
this in the 80s?
No, it was actually in the 90s.
Oh, in the 90s.
Yeah, it was actually, when I met him, it was in 1990.
So y'all had to get each other's beepers numbers?
Yeah, we had beepers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we had. Yep.
So what was the first conversation like?
Well, the first conversation pretty much, when you say conversation, we actually struck up the conversation at the club.
Okay.
But from that point on, if you want to know what happened as far as what the relationship was like, that's what you want to know, pretty much.
Yeah, like the first conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
Or anything like y'all the first date.
Well, what we did was we actually, rode around a couple times, went out to clubs, and he would wine and dine me, of course. And I liked the way that he looked, so I went out there and got me one of those Dookie rope chains so me and him can match. Yeah, and then I had like a little gold tooth thing. You could buy them back then, and I had it in my mouth.
For
like
real?
Yeah, that was a whole nother side. Like I said, I was like trying to portray that image, but that was the lifestyle, the fast lifestyle that I just was attracted to it. Yeah.
Okay, so eventually you two would get in a relationship. And how long were y'all together?
Probably, it was a short period of time, probably around 2 or 3 months. So
that's very short-lived.
Yeah, it is, because it was fast. Everything we did on a daily, it just seemed like it was 2 or 3 months, but it was actually like a year's worth of time that we did things together.
Okay.
Yeah, the excitement.
So what was y'all relationship about?
Well, again, he was a money-making dude, so you can read between the lines. So I just wanted to tell y'all about a story. Him and I were riding together, and when we were riding together, all of a sudden it was 4 cars. They were unmarked cars. Police officers cornered the car. So I was like, oh, and immediately they surrounded the car, told us to get out the car. And when we got out the car, they went inside of his car, and they pretty much tore up the inside of the car looking for drugs. So thank God there were not any drugs in the vehicle. I thank the Lord every day for that. So yeah, that was a real traumatic experience. But that adrenaline was really, really going through me. But I had to calm down, and after that, we went on about our way. They didn't find any drugs. He had a whole bunch of money on him, and they would ask him where you get the money from, and he told them that he do construction work. That's what most drug dealers tell the police when they have money. They do construction work because they don't have a job. So
okay. So was it Richland County that pulled y'all over?
Yep, they were in unmarked cars, but of course the area that we were in, was that Richland County? It could have been Richland County or CPD. It was right there off of Sunset Drive, where the Burger King, going up that hill towards Sunset Drive to where you get to Brooklyn Road. Right there was called Rutledge Forest Apartments. We went over there. Yeah.
Okay, so as the unmarked cars was approaching y'all, what was the conversation like inside the car? Like, what was he telling you?
He was like, he used to call me baby girl. He was like, baby girl, stay calm, stay calm. I ain't got nothing on me, baby girl. Just stay calm, stay calm. And he was telling the police the whole time that she ain't got nothing to do with nothing. She ain't got nothing to do with nothing, talking about me, which I respected him for that. So thank the Lord he didn't have nothing in the car.
Yeah.
But
so did they separate y'all, and was the police trying to get you to snitch on him?
Yeah, they didn't have me. They separated us, of course, but they went all through my purse, and then at the time I was a correctional officer, so they was like, we got a correctional officer over here, but I had a clean record. I've never been arrested before back then at all. So it was I was working every day, so nothing they could pull up on me. And like I said, he was from out of town, but I guess because he was so flashy, the car was flashy, because back then they had flashy vehicles with the rims on it. Like I said, he dressed like a drug dealer. It was obvious there was something going on with him. He wasn't actually fitting in with Columbia, because Columbia, the guys, how they look versus the guys from up north, the way they look and stuff.
Yeah, like you can definitely tell because of that BMF show that's out.
Yeah,
they from Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah. So what happened after that?
Well, after that, we went on about our merry little way, and that was just one story with him and I. So I have another story if I can lead up to that about what happened with us. We were both at one of my friend's house in Saxon Homes. I don't know if you ever heard of Saxon Homes, but they're no longer in existence anymore. And we actually went there, spent the night, and the next morning when we woke up, well, actually he didn't wake up, me and my homegirl, it was her apartment. We actually took his car with, unbeknownst to him, because he was still asleep. So by the time, you know, we got in the car, like I said, Saxon Homes, if you're familiar with that, most of my older audience is, we got up the street as far as to Benedict College. And the car shut off in the middle of the road. And we could not believe that the car shut off on us at the light in the middle of traffic, right? So we both, me and my homegirl, like trying to figure out what to do. And all of a sudden the policeman came, and then he actually helped us get the car out of the middle of the road and put it on the side of the road. And you know, I was like really nervous because I didn't know if they were gonna check the car, if my boyfriend had anything illegal in the car, because we did take the car without his knowledge of him knowing we took it.
Wow, that is just crazy.
Yeah.
So y'all had to call the police, or was the police in the area?
The police was in the area and saw that we were holding up the traffic, and you know, we looked like nice girls. So he didn't, you know, say anything to us out of the way. I guess we didn't look suspicious or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did your boyfriend ended up finding out that the car shut off?
Well, we like I said, we put the car on the side of the road, right? And we went back to my homegirl's apartment to let him know that the car broke down. And so he was pissed when he found out that I took the car. So we made our way back up to the car with him. And what he did was, let me tell you what he did. He took the distributor cap off the part of the car under the hood, because we were in the hood, in the projects. So just in case if somebody wanted to steal the car, they wouldn't get far. And you see, we didn't get far. So it did work when he took that distributor. That's what made the car break down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
That was smart.
Yeah, it was smart, yeah. So he went to searching all around his car to make sure everything was good. And what he did was he went into the trunk, and he had like this Heineken can, which it was a homemade can.